Deep down in your heart, you're ready to stop being mediocre and you're ready to live rich on purpose. So I used to teach 1-year-olds in China. My third year, I was teaching 1-year-olds. And before they can even speak or even walk, their parents were preparing them to compete. Meanwhile, most adults are waiting to feel ready. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Spivey J. Make sure you subscribe. What you doing? Welcome to the community. Over here, I like to talk about transformation, mindset mastery, as we are all on a journey to get more fulfillment out of this life, the one we have right now. All right, so you may be thinking that sounds really crazy. Why are 1-year-olds learning English? They don't even know their native language. But it was all about the exposure. It was all about their parents positioning them for a trajectory to ensure that they are not just competitive, but the best. Sure, we were singing lullabies and practicing basic English. At the same time, it was all about the exposure. And it wasn't about the pressure. It wasn't even about expectation. It's just that over in China, high standards are normal. Structure was normal. Consistency was normal. No drama, no identity crisis, just straight development. And I want to talk about that today. And this is in no way comparing to say they are better or not. I just wanted to give you a stake in the ground on where this awareness of minds really started. Because at the time I was expecting, and so I was like, dang, these people got their 1-year-olds in a foreign language class already exposed. And it just really put a lot of things into perspective as I was going to be becoming a mother myself. And this also has me thinking how there are so many high potential women like yourself. You aren't necessarily confused, like you have an idea of what you want to do and you have a whole bunch of experience. But the thing is, most high potential women tolerate low standards in one area while excelling in another. And if you want to live rich on purpose, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, you have to find a way to be great across the board. In seasons, it may dip, but overall, you need to expose yourself to getting better in as many ways as possible. So for example, in the middle of building a business, you're so focused on building that business, you may neglect your health. Well, what good would that be if you have this successful business, but you're unable to attend, I don't know, an award ceremony because you neglected your health? Another thing that a lot of high potential women do is like, you dream big, but you don't ship. You have these amazing ideas. You don't need permission from anyone else. So you like know for a fact you have an amazing idea. You've been affirmed by others, people who are close to you and or people who will benefit from what it is you have to offer, but you haven't shifted. You're just sitting on the fact that you have a good idea and that's it. That's the gap. That's the part that's missing. You see, pressure is anxiety without direction, but expectation is standard with structure. So your competition isn't other women, it isn't other business owners, creators, it isn't anyone outside of you. So let me reiterate that most high potential women aren't confused. It's the fact that you tolerate low standards in other areas of your life and not realizing how combined they all impact you. So fit in your fitness, consistency, execution, visibility. That's the competition. It's not other people in the same industry as you. It's not the algorithm that you're blaming. Competition is not society. The competition are those things that I just said: fitness, execution, visibility, and consistency. Are you really putting in the work that your dream requires, or you're just thinking about it so much that you're confusing your thoughts with your action? I'm guilty of that. I've literally have thought of the details of a dream, or an idea rather, and thought research and thought that was productivity, but really it's just perfectionism disguised as planning or whatnot. And then I've done that for such a long period of time. It felt emotionally like what I was working towards was done or executed on, but really I was just being trifling to my own idea, to my own dream. And right now, with me consistently showing up for myself every single day, setting a goal, and even if it's late, early, inconvenient, still pushing to achieve it, it has built my consistency muscle. It has built my self-trust, and I want that for you. I want you to get in the mindset that you're going to have to do something that's going to transform your former self. You're going to have to do something Not think about it, not journal about it, not do another vision board about it. You're going to have to do something to transform your former self. I'm always talking about doing the challenge. I know people like to do the 7-day challenges, the 10-day challenges, but I'm, like I always say, give me a nice round 100 days. And I want you to use the floor, not the ceiling. For the challenge, you're going to have to embody the action. Don't move the goalpost closer to you. So in order for you to do this challenge, you're going to have to become elite and embody the fact that what you're after is going to require you to raise your standards in multiple areas. And so I always suggest starting off with fitness. And if you have that already taken care of, move on to the next thing. But when you improve your fitness, for me personally, this is what worked. It improved so many other areas of my life. I can't see the other areas being tackled had I not taken care of my body. Because it's like this mind-body connection. So you take care of your health. If you take care of your health, you take care of your physical vessel, then it will positively contribute to your mentality. It will positively contribute to your energy level. You need energy to execute on anything, but if you're not taking care of your health, your fitness, literally like building your heart muscle. Remember, the heart is a muscle. Staying true to your goals, your fitness goals. It's not about aesthetics. It's not about a specific body type. It's literally about the quality of life, longevity, and all the things that really are important to you. Then if you do that, then I know that there are so many benefits in other areas. Same for when I was teaching the 1-year-olds English. They were technically there getting exposed. What the hell was that? They were technically in the class being exposed to, 1, a foreigner that looks nothing like them, 2, the language from a native speaker, and 3, of course, the camaraderie from being in a class. You may think, well, wow, they're too young. That's ridiculous. But the culture over there, that's very normal. That's not out of, it's like if you have the financial ability to give your children the competitive edge in any way, in China specifically, I can't speak for the whole East, they're going to take advantage of that. And so I want us to move forward with that same mindset. If you have the ability to expose yourself to the things that's going to contribute to your competitiveness, then you need to hone in on that. That's coming from all the books you've read on personal development or your career, or specifically your actual department in your job, your whatever the case is. Like, use that knowledge in every area. It's going to help you out. I know people make a joke what's the joke? What's the saying? It's like, they say money don't buy you happiness, but I'd rather be crying in a Benz than, and of course I know that's materialistic, and that's not really the point. The point is they're saying money is going to maybe make your emotions better. I don't know, but I do know that, come on, let's not lie to ourselves. We should for sure be tackling the different areas of our life that are going to contribute to us transforming. So the competition pretty much starts with consistency. It starts with you, and it has always been, and it will always continue to be with you, specifically competition. So how do you do this in a challenge? The one I was just talking about. Super easy. You're going to choose one domain of life that you want to transform. Only you know that. Health, wealth, relationships, self. Put down on a piece of paper those 4 categories and write everything you want to improve upon in either of those categories. So before you find what the lowest hanging fruit is, you want to first see which one requires the other one first. Does that make sense? Like, if you say I want to be a millionaire, and then you have a line number 2 says I want to start a business. If your job is not setting you up to be a millionaire and you need your business to do that, then you should probably choose launch my business first before you choose to be a millionaire. You get what I'm saying? Like if it's in health, you want to compete in an Ironman competition, you should probably start with doing 10,000 steps and losing and getting fit. All right, so you're going to see which one in the specific areas you want to focus on, and then which one is the easiest lowest cost one to start first. That's your lowest hanging fruit. That's the one you're going to start with. You're going to do this challenge. I have my habit architecture system, and link is in the description, called 100 Days 1U. I designed this after I successfully completed, after 4 failed attempts. On the 5th time, I was successful in completing my own challenge in 100 days. And my challenge was to walk no less than 10,000 steps every single day for 100 days. Completed that, and then did it again, added new habits. And basically I just did a habit stacking journey in 2025, successfully losing 50 pounds and still using it in different areas of my life now, because I see that it works. And like I said, 100 is a nice round number. When you do the small challenges, the short-term fasts, you reap those quick benefits, but you want to, whatever it is, you want to be consistent with it for a long period of time, so that you can, one, really build the skill, the habit, and that you're able to, and then you'll be able to move on to the next thing. So this is why I highly suggest doing 100 days, for you to really just like build self-trust, build that consistency muscle, get used to executing on something on a daily basis, where yesterday's input doesn't impact today's input, so that you can just build, and it's gonna compound. That's the thing about it. It's gonna compound, and then you, one, aren't worried about competition, because the only thing you're competing against is your former self from yesterday and all of the yesterdays. And 2, you're not focusing on the future, because you have to be present when you do a daily challenge, because the only thing that matters is where your focus and awareness is right then and there. So, un momento, por favor. And most importantly, you don't need to wait until you feel ready. Doing the thing is what makes you ready. Starting is what gets you ready. Staying consistent with it is what lets you know that you're ready. You can't wait to get ready. You can't wait to be old enough. Why not? Why shouldn't a 1-year-old be exposed to a whole new world? Why not? Why is it too early? Why do you think that that's doing the most? Kind of reflect on these opinions that you may have. It's never too early, and at the same time, it's also never too late. Just because we are bombarded by the "I'm 19 years old" video talking about their successful internet business that they started at 12, it's like, well, they live a completely different life than you. Again, not your competition. I want you to really focus on realizing you don't need to be ready to start. Starting is what makes you ready, and that you are your only competition. That's very important if you want to be successful in doing a 100-day challenge to transform yourself. All right. You need to stop acting like you have an abundance of time ahead of you. You've already lived the time behind you. You need to stop acting like the next Monday when you plan to start is going to come, because then you're going to continue to give yourself excuses and allow yourself to be free of responsibility. If you are a high impact, high potential, multi-dimensional woman with the capabilities that the world needs, you don't have any more time to waste. We don't have any more time to give to others. You need to do that for yourself. You need to do that for your dream. It needs to come out of your brain, come out of your journal, come off of your vision board, and you need to execute on it. The world needs exactly what you have. We need more of that. We need your personality. We need your unique experience. We need your level of expertise in whatever area there is. But you have to recode. You have to recode your identity to do that. And question yourself. Are you ready to go and grow? Or do you want to stay the same? Only you can answer that question. And you know deep down in your heart, you're ready to stop being mediocre, and you're ready to live rich on purpose. I'm talking about mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. And if that resonates with you, make sure you subscribe to my channel, join the community. I have a pinned question down below. Make sure you answer. Let's talk back. I don't bite. My name is Spivey J, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.
You're beautiful. I hope you know that. I hope you know that.
You can be anything in this world except dehydrated,